Eastern Cape province yesterday, following service delivery protests there and demarcation disputes. The majority of the affected areas are from the Amahlathi municipality. Our reporter Busisiwe Jemsana-Mantashe is there.
Well, it's day 2 of registration in the Eastern Cape, and we are standing outside the IEC provincial offices where they are busy collecting data of those who have registered. A huge concern, though, that young people are not going out to register in these registration stations. They are still calling upon young people to come and register. They are saying that they have registered about 38% of young people. They are still very low from the targets that they have set for themselves, but the real numbers, the correct numbers, will be detailed after today's registration, after 5 and tomorrow morning when they are finished with their collection of data. We are told that the ongoing protests in Amahlathi municipality, which led to voting stations, 29 voting stations not being opened yesterday, have since opened. 3 of the 29 have not opened. We did go to Amahlathi municipality in Starter this morning, and we saw one in town that was open. Even there, those that are open, there is strong police visibility safeguarding the equipment of the IEC and the officials that are doing their work. And we did see few people going to that voting station to actually register, a mix of young people and the elderly really who went to register in that voting station that did not open yesterday. But it was a different story altogether when we went to Umlungisi township, where the majority of the young people in that area who are at the forefront of the protest are based, where those stations were not open. Not a single one of them was open, and not a single one of them had IEC banners or IEC material to suggest that there is an active registration station. The youth from that area saying that they are not going to register until their problems are solved, and they are demanding that the national office bearers, the Department of Cooperative Governance, comes down to talk to them about the election of leaders in that municipality and release the SIU reports, investigations into allegations of fraud and corruption. And until then, they are not going to register. But the IEC has just said now that 3 of the stations have not been opened. They have opened more stations in that area, but though they have opened, there are stations where they have not reported a single person who has come to register. Young people seemingly boycotting the registration process in that area. But the Electoral Commissioner saying that should they resolve their problems before the President proclaims the election date, then they might open a window for them to actually assist them in registering, because a huge concern is the first-time voters, because those who have voted before, who are still residing in Starter, will be able to register if they are still on the data of the IEC. But a huge concern is the first-time voters who would have loved to go and vote, but who are prevented from going to the stations because of the grievances of the people from Starter. But we are here in East London, and I caught up with a couple who was looking for a place where they can register, and they allow going around East London trying to find a voting station. Buti, thank you so much for joining us. The importance of registering, in your view, what would you say it is? Because many young people are not coming out. In fact, the IEC was complaining that many young people are not going to these voting stations.
As the citizen of this country, it's very important to register to vote so that you can have a say in whatever that is happening in this country. Your vote is very important.
And you were looking for your voting station. Is it the first time that you're going to be registering here in East London?
Yes, it's my first time here in East London, but it's not the first time I registered to vote, but it's the first time here in East London.
And what is it that young people are most looking forward to in terms of the new leadership that will be put in place after these elections?
From what I have observed, young people are looking for jobs for their families. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I know you've got a voting station to find. Well, someone I caught up with going into the IEC offices looking for his voting station, wanting to go there and have a voice, saying young people are most looking forward to creation of jobs and a better education system. These are some of the young people that we've been seeing coming to registration stations. Whether or not by the end of this weekend the IEC would have recorded a sizable number of young people going to these voting stations, and whether or not the disgruntled communities will be able to come down and actually allow those who want to register to go and register, that is yet to be seen, because we know even in KSD we are told there are over 30 voting stations that have not opened. Krisani, there are also some problems there. So in BCM, Buffalo City Metro Municipality, there's one station that has not been able to open up until 3 o'clock today. Whether or not the remaining 2 hours will come with a much different, or there will be a turnaround or a difference of people coming in to actually register, or more stations will be opened, is something that remains to be seen. But as things stand, people are not going, majority of people are not going. The IEC actually has not seen people going in numbers to go and register, and there are those stations that remain closed. Back to you in studio.
Residents in Orient Hills on the West Rand of Johannesburg barred IEC officials from entering the informal settlement. This community is demanding that service delivery issues be resolved before any electioneering is allowed. The R24 to Rustenburg remains